Good morning. This is Mara, and my day has totally gone wonky, so I thought I would set up this video sooner than later. So here we are for our first lesson. I am so honored that so many of you are interested in learning how to make your own skirts. Just teeny bit of background, just so you know who I am. I run Bohemian Butterfly Sisterhood and have for the past 2 years. But prior to that, I designed wedding gowns for 15 years. I worked for the Art Institute of California in San Francisco as part of the faculty for the fashion design and fashion merchandising and manufacturing departments. And I have been sewing, oh God, I don't even want to tell you how many years, but I've been sewing since I was 10 and been making patterns. And this just seems like the absolutely perfect thing to be doing right now. So here we go. This is lesson 1, how to create a pattern for a symmetrical wrap skirt. And I'll explain what I mean by that as we go along. I'm seeing that my cat is probably going to get in the way here, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so there we go. You are going to need paper and a pen or pencil, a tape measure, calculator, some snacks, and a lot of patience, especially if you have trouble with math. Now, if you go through this video and you thrown everything across the room and you've decided that it's worth having somebody else make a pattern for you, message me. I'm happy to do the calculations for you. It actually is a little daunting. So happy to do that for you. So if you need to pause and get these things, get them, and then we'll get started. So this is what we're actually going to make today, is a paper, it's called schematics for your skirt. And what I mean by symmetrical is that this measurement here is all the same. You'll understand as we go along why it is called symmetrical versus an asymmetrical. So what we're going to do is figure out how to create this for you. Now, most of the silk saris or most fabrics come in 45-inch width material. And when you're cutting your skirts, you're going to end up putting the selvage to selvage and then folding it over here. So this is one long piece of material folded on this side. And that's really important for us to know. Okay, you ready? Here we go. So you are going to take a measurement of your waist. This is not super tight, not super loose. This is where you want your skirt to actually rest on your waist or wherever you want it to rest, and comfortably. So that's the number we want to get. So I'm going to have you go ahead and do that. And then you're going to add 8 to 12 inches. Now, the difference here is I usually wear a skirt with a minimum of a 10-inch wrap for the wind. And I like skirts that even go up to 12, 14 inches. So excuse me, since we're customizing your skirt, you get to choose how much wrap. So let's say your waist is 40 inches and you have decided to add 12. So this number here is going to end up being 52. Okay, we all on the same page? Make sure you pause this if you need to. Okay, we are going to go to the next. Now, you are going to take that total inches, which in our example was 52, and you're going to times it by 2. So if it was 52, it's now 104. And you're going to take that number, put it in this box here, and then you're going to divide that whole number by 6.28. And what we're trying to do is to come up with this radius right here. Okay, now I'm going to explain a little of the math, and I know I'm going to lose some of you, but this is why. Okay, to find the radius of a circle, the calculation is 2 pi r. Now, since we are only going to use half, because your skirt needs to have a, let's say, in this example, it's 60 inches. This is your 60-inch waistband here. But in order to get the calculations, we need to times it by 2. So that's where we go down here to 2 times the waist would be 120. And 2 pi is 6.28. So we're going to divide this number by 6.28 to come up with r. And r is your radius, and that is super, super important. So here we are, 2 times the waist divided by 6.28 equals r. And r is the measurement from this corner point that you're going to use to create your skirt waistband. We're only on the waistband right now. Okay, here we go. So let's say after all these calculations, your R has turned into 10 inches. So we now know that your radius is 10 inches. So when we fold your fabric, we're going to go from here to here and mark it at 10, here to here and mark it at 10, and then we're going to make all sorts of rays and mark them at 10. And this line has now become your custom waistband line. Okay, here we go. Now, in order to figure out how long you can make your skirt as a symmetrical, meaning that R and R are the same, you're going to take 45 inches, because that's the width of the fabric, minus R. So if this is 10, you can now make a 35-inch length skirt. Most of us who are B's and C's are going to find that we can make a 24 to 28-inch length. And if you want longer, that is going to be our next lesson. Okay, here we go. I'm not sure what page number. Okay, well, I missed 10. So much for early morning. Okay, so we have come up with your radius plus your length and 2 waistbands. Let's see if I can get where your waistbands are. Okay, so your radius plus your length, your waistbands you're going to cut out of the same material, and they're going to be 3 inches each. So when we go back here, you've got your radius, your length, 2 waistbands, and you're going to add all of that up to this number. When you have this number, you're going to times it by 2, because you have folded over the material and you have 2 lengths that you are using. Then you're going to take that number and you're going to divide it by 36, which is how many inches in a yard. And you will find out how many yards you need for this skirt. Most saris are between 5 and 6 yards. So if you need 3 yards, you can get one skirt out and possibly the second. You're going to want to measure first, but out of one silk sari, you can get 1 or 2 skirts. Okay, you ready to go over this one more time? So we're going to do this as an example all the way down. Excuse me. Okay, I am doing an example that my waist is 42 inches. I am adding a 12-inch wrap. So my waistband is going to be 54 inches. I'm going to times it by 2 because I'm only using a waistband on half of the circle, but we need the whole circle, the whole circumference to figure out the R. So 54 times 2 is 108. 108 divided by 6.28 is my R. And my R is 17.19. When it's that small of a point, I round it down. So my schematics are looking like 17 is my waist. I can go up to a 28 length with a symmetrical skirt, meaning my radius, 17, is the same on both sides. So now my radius plus my length plus 2 waistbands of 3 inches each equals 52. I came up with the 28 because my whole fabric is 45 inches long, or 45 inches wide, excuse me, minus my R is 28. So my radius plus my length plus my waistband, plus my other waistband is 52. Now 52 times 2 is 104. 36 inches in a yard. So for me, I need 2.89 yards of fabric to make my skirt. I always err and add up. So my 2.89 now is 3 yards of fabric. Okay, let's do one more together. Okay, let's say your waist is 32. And let's say you want a 10-inch wrap. So you're now at 42 inches. You're going to take your 42 inches, times it by 2 equals 84. And you're going to take your 84 divided by 6.28. And my calculator is on my phone and I can't do this. So you all are going to tell me what this number is. And as I'm making my pattern, fold, this number is now this number, right? And I'm going to figure out how long I can go by going 45 minus X equals length. And now to figure out how much yardage, I'm going to take my radius plus my length plus 3 inches plus 3 inches, and I'm going to get my yardage number. And I'm going to times that by 2. And I'm going to divide it by 36 inches. And that's how many yards I need for my skirt. So your next step is you're going to draw your schematics. So when you figure out what your R is, there's your R, there's your R. This is 45 minus R, 45 minus R, 3, 3. You should know what your R is, how long a skirt you can make, and how much yardage you need. Practice, practice, practice. Have snacks, have water, walk around, and come back to it. If this is too daunting, what I need for you to do is send me your waist measurement plus how much wrap you want. And I will come up with your pattern. I haven't figured out what I'm charging, but something little just to do the calculations. And once we have this, we can now create a skirt. I know this doesn't seem like we're far away from a finished product. We have about another 4 more videos. But this is the beginning, and this is the hardest part. This and cutting out your skirt are your 2 hardest things. The sewing is actually easy, easy, easy. But making your pattern and cutting out, because the silk is so slippery, are the 2 hardest things, and then the sewing is easy. If you don't have a sewing machine, you can actually do this by hand. It will take you a little while, but it's not impossible. I will include those instructions when we are learning to sew. And I have a couple of other skirt patterns to show you that will add to this. I'm hoping to do, I've got a bit of time this week, so I'm hoping to do a couple of videos this week. And what I would ask is, if this was helpful, go to PayPal. My PayPal account is Big Heart Designs with an S at yahoo.com. There we go. That is this. And pop in, 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you can afford, whatever this is worth to you. And that way we can just keep these going. My time is super precious, and I'd love to be able to do this for you. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.